Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is
What?
the Austinator. No,
What?
no special intro tonight.
uh, uh, we waited long, and you didn't do the office intro. What the heck?
I could, but at the same time, I don't know if it's the stream for that tonight. I think tonight is just gonna be a we're just going in live. We're doing it live. Fuck it. See,
We're doing live.
but
Yeah. Okay.
anyway, I know it's been a while, guys. Oh man. When was the last stream I did? Like months ago. Like
Was it WrestleMania or Backlash? What was the last?
I think no, I think the last stream I did was Cobra Kai. I think
Oh,
like, but like in terms of like wrestling, it's been like since WrestleMania. I think
yeah. It's been a while.
like if I'm looking at it like right now, like the last thing I did wrestling was like 7 months ago,
Jesus.
and then my last like other stream was like 3 months ago. So there's a lot of time gap there in between streams. So
And you said once you graduate, you'd be streaming all the time. Ha ha.
I know, haha, jokes on you, everybody. I lied. Well, not as much as Hulk Hogan, but that's besides the point. Um, so yeah, hello everybody. Shifty's here with me again. It's been a while, Shifty. How's it going?
Yep. It's doing all right. Just some old person problems. And hey, but I got set up on. I'm getting set up on the fiber internet next week, so I'm going to be streaming too pretty
Oh
soon.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's awesome.
Got that fiber. Going to be regular.
I always love being regular with the fiber,
Yeah.
but many people are going to be wondering, oh, Austin, you titled this The Future Good Ol Wrasslin Stay the Channel. What does this mean? Are you retiring? Are you
Uh,
deleting your channel? Are you going to become a political YouTuber? No, none of that, guys. I promise. It's not that bad. I'm not that desperate, okay?
you might
Um
get you might get some views.
I might, but you know what? I'm just not a political guy. For the most
Yeah.
part, I'm not. Um so yeah, no, a lot has happened since we last when I last did a stream. Biggest thing, I graduated. Um,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. So that was a big deal. Um, then a lot of life stuff happened. I was kind of in between jobs for a while because the job market's not that wasn't great until I actually found a steady job with decent with a pretty good pay in my field.
Congratulations.
And thank you, thank you. And the big thing, I know everybody's probably gonna be like, well, Austin, you were gone all this time. You could have done more streams. Well, I could have. I just didn't have the time or energy to do so. And I'm not gonna apologize for that because let's be honest, the internet is not real. It's
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
it's real-ish in a way, but not real.
But we know that you wanted to do streams for the Acolyte and Agathis, but you just didn't have the time.
Yeah, I just didn't have time for it. I didn't have time to do streams about oh god,
The
what was that
power.
one show?
The power
Yeah,
to the power of money.
that
You don't even know what
show.
I'm talking about. You didn't even watch it, so you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a good thing.
Probably. Um, so the big thing for the stream tonight, it's not gonna be a long stream. It's just gonna be talking about what's going to be in store for the next year, because that's when things are gonna get rolling here. We got Basco scenario in the house. What's up, Guy Scar? Um,
Hey,
so the big thing is, what is the channel going to be like moving forward? And I made a joke like, oh, are you going to move into a different direction? Are you going to, oh my God, you're delving into politics. Oh no, you're going to become one of those people. It's like, no, 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 no. It's fine. It's not that big a deal. Like,
one
I'm
of
not going to
those
be one of
people.
those people.
One of those
I
people.
don't know. I don't know. There's just a lot. There's just a lot of people out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there.
Hundreds of billions of people.
Yeah.
So but the main thing I want to do on this channel is, obviously, sometimes I'll still talk about like what's going on, like I'll still talk about like Cobra Kai and stuff, like maybe if like a big superhero thing's going on, or if there's something that's on my mind, I'll talk about that. But there's one big passion that I'm a fan of, Shifty, that we're both fans of, and that's wrestling. And I have a wrestling show called Good Ol Wrasslin. Yeah, that show was kind of I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a mess. I feel like there was just a lot of ideas there that I was trying to put out there that I don't like. It got a little too muddled. I think it it got a little muddy at points. And then I had some ongoing series going on that just realistically I just didn't really have the time for, nor was it was just becoming a little bit of a hassle in terms of the channel, the consistency. Plus, I'd be gone for months at a time, and then it's like we don't really have any real. It's like watching a movie and there's no real like resolution to the plot. It's like it's a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah. Poor
So,
old, our poor old WCW show.
oh yeah,
I think you bailed. I think you bailed just because you didn't want to see that Hogan promo where he had the sword and he was dressed in armor and
oh no, I saw it, and then
yeah,
I
but
was
we never reviewed it. I mean, you stopped right before that episode.
yeah, I got so scared. I was like, no, I don't want to see Hulk Hogan wearing a mask and wearing a sword.
Wearing a
No.
sword. Yeah.
Like but to be fair though, we didn't. They did Hogan and Sting literally the week after, which was actually one of the first times they actually wrestled each other, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
Um, but besides that, the WCW show I think was a great idea, but the problem was it's at that time just again the scheduling was just kind of weird, and plus a lot it's just really difficult to talk about something where it's like you really don't have the time for it, and
And
then
another thing. I don't know if you were. I don't. Were you even alive when Nitro was on?
no.
Okay, well, let me tell you, it would have been really painful to sit through some of those later years because I watched it firsthand, and I don't think we would have ever finished because it got bad, it got really bad, and then we was trying to get Thunder maybe into the mix. I don't think we would have ever finished it. I really don't.
No. I mean, would I like to bring it back at some point? Maybe, but it's one of those things where I have to really have the time for it, and not to mention, like the later Nitro shows, like nearly 3 hours long, and I'm like, I really don't want to watch a 3 hour Nitro, especially in the later years where I know it gets bad because of like shit like Russo and all the stupid bullshit they pulled. So
Yeah, it's something like we probably would have just had to focus on the pay-per-views or the landmark episodes of Nitro, like Goldberg winning the title or something.
yeah, like it would be something like that, but the main thing I want to do now is I just want to focus on one thing or like a couple
Ooh,
things here.
okay.
The first being Good Ol Wrasslin. I feel like as a whole, I think Good Ol Wrasslin would work better if it was just mainly one. If it was more of a consistent, streamlined thing.
Uh-huh.
So my plan for Good Ol Wrasslin, it's going to be a once a week show. It'll probably be on a Friday, right around like 7-8 o'clock, because again I have to work around my work schedule.
Uh-huh.
um and the main thing on that show is it's going to be primarily what's going on in the wrestling news that week. Like
Okay.
it'll basically be a combination of what's going on, what happened in the news that week. We'll probably talk about it on the show. It'll be like, I don't know how long it would be to like cover some of the news. Like if it's like a not really, if it's like news but not like major news, it won't be necessarily a long show, but it would be like it would be around an hour. Like I would say so, like around an hour typically.
Yeah, this is the where you probably need to find another person to come in and help you because I don't watch AEW and I don't. I mean, I'm mostly a pay-per-view guy for WWE, so
Right.
know about the TNAs and the AEWs and the ROHs and the, so we need to find somebody that can, banter with you about what's going on in those areas.
Right. Like that's what I'm gonna get into in a bit, but I just wanted to talk about Good Ol Wrasslin real quick, just so that
Good old,
way everybody gets a basic idea of what's going on, like in terms of the show.
yeah,
But it'll primarily just be like wrestling news, like what's going on. Like it could be like anything wrestling news regarded, like if there's news about a game coming out, if there's a
oh
news
yeah,
about a wrestling movie, or what's going on backstage, or like what did Dave Meltzer say this week, or why is he lying so much, or why did Dave Meltzer screw up? It would be something like that. Like it would be like stuff like that, and then oh, we got Sour in the house. What's up, Sour? Good to see you.
yo,
And then the other thing too is pay-per-view predictions, because I think the pay-per-view predictions thing was a great idea. I
yeah,
like the idea of like kind of having that little like predictions, like I would call it like it was like a predictions competition or match, like where you would come up with where Shifty would come up with questions, and then we would guess, and then whoever got the most would win. I
yeah.
I think
I
if there's a big
blat-
pay-per-view coming up, or a
I
pay-per-view as a whole.
I blatantly ripped that off from Chris from the weekly wrap up or whatever show it was that he used to do with Danny and Anzo. So that was an idea of his, and I just lifted it.
But you know what? I actually really like that, and I think we're gonna keep that.
Okay, we may have to pay him something.
Well, maybe. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah,
So we'll keep that, and we'll basically kind of make it like we'll call it the predictions championship or something.
yeah.
Like we'll have it, we'll make it its own thing. We'll be like, okay, whoever gets predictions becomes the champion, and then we'll be like, oh, you've held it for this many days, and like you have to defend your title at the next predictions stream or something. Like we'll make a big deal out of it. I think like it'll be like, hey, it's like it's a little novelty thing.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've also thought about too, is if it's like a slow week where there's like not a whole lot of news going on, then we'll do kind of like something, special for that, for like that episode of Good Ol Wrasslin. Like maybe we'll do like a ranking, or we'll talk about like the video games. We'll do like a ranking, or we'll do a retro show review. Like we'll do something to at least make sure like the show is happening weekly, but not necessarily like straying too far from what it is.
Sounds good.
Like, because I always like to say, keep it simple, stupid. And for this show, keep it simple. Nothing crazy. So,
Yeah.
That's basically what Good Ol Wrassling's going to be next year. Like, I'm not bringing it back yet, because again, it's near the end of the year, and let's be honest, with work and stuff going on and
The
personal life,
holidays.
the holidays,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a good time to basically. No, it's gonna be new. It's gonna be next year when everything's kind of controlled a little bit. The other thing
Plus,
too, and
plus things are going to be heating up in January. So
yeah, which is kind of my next point. So as we all know at this point, unless you've been living under a rock, get it, because Dwayne the Rock Johnson. So Raw is going to Netflix,
yeah,
and that's going to be a big deal. Not to mention AEW recently had their media rights deal confirmed, and Dynamite is going to be simulcast, I believe, on Max. I think that's at least my interpretation of it. Maybe I could be wrong. It'll
I
be
haven't heard
simulcast
it.
on Max. I mean, I could check, but but I don't feel like checking right now. So so some of you guys might need to fact check me. So, but no, AEW is more likely to be simulcast on Max. SmackDown's going back to the USA Network. It's going to be a big deal in 2025 because WWE is all over the place. Like they're on Netflix, they're on the CW now, like they're on the USA. Not to mention they still got their pay-per-view deal with Peacock. It's they're everywhere.
How long is that going to last for Peacock?
I think the last time I checked it was like 2026, I think.
Okay.
I again, I could be wrong. It could be 2026. It could be like 2025, maybe. It could even be 2028. We don't know.
Yeah.
So, at that point, once their deal ends, they'll probably go to like Netflix or something. But, um, so yeah, that's the big thing. And I want to do, kind of like weekly Raw reviews or like do like weekly Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite reviews. But I also want to be like, okay, I don't want to do this by myself because I tried doing it before by myself. It's not really interesting because at that point you're just talking to yourself. It's you look crazy almost.
So that's going to be a
Like,
separate show than Good Old Wrestling.
yeah, like the review shows are just going to be kind of like Raw reviews, Dynamite, SmackDown. Like they'll be their own separate thing. Like,
Uh, that's
because
a lot
I
of
figured, hmm?
that's a lot of wrestling.
Indeed. But at the same time, because it's going to be so hot next year, at least I think, it's best to capitalize on it while it's hot, because
Uh-huh.
there's going to be a lot of things going on next year that's going to be like, hey, we probably need to review this or we got to do that, this, that, the other. It's, I want to do stuff like that,
Uh,
but that's why I'm looking to expand our cast of people to hopefully join us for the weekly reviews. I know, Shifty, you said you're not a big Dynamite, you're not a big AEW guy, and you
I'm
primarily watch the
I'm
reviews.
honestly just the PLEs. Sometimes I watch Raw, and I'll probably tune in for Raw on Netflix to see what's going down because they say that they may get just a little bit riskier. I don't think it's going to get too over the top on Netflix because they still have that contract with Mattel, and they're still going after all these children's deals going on. So I don't think they're going to anybody hoping for the Attitude Era, it ain't happening. So
No,
no,
I think they'll stretch it, but I don't think they're
yeah,
gonna go down like TV 14. I think it'll be like PG, but they're gonna stretch it a little bit more to where it's not gonna be kitty, if that
yeah,
makes any sense.
yeah. But I'm mostly a PLE guy, but I
Yeah,
will probably be checking out the Netflix stuff and I don't know about SmackDown. I usually fast forward through that, but I'm kind of getting burned out on the Bloodline stuff. I hope it ends pretty soon the next year, but we'll see.
we will indeed see. So basically, I'm just gonna ask around to be like, hey, if you guys want to like join the Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite reviews, like, hell, if they even want to join Good Old Wrestling too, we can do that too.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
So it's basically that's the plan for the channel as of now. I know, like, I also wanted to bring this up for Good Old Wrestling. Like, at the end of the year, we'll do like an end of the year award show. Because that's
Slammy.
something like that, yeah. Because I know me and Shadow had we did this before. I it really didn't work because I feel like the problem was it was just very clunky the way we did it.
Well, I mean, it's not like the Slammies aren't clunky. I mean,
Oh, sure.
I mean, you probably did a better job than they did.
Oh, maybe. But I also want to do it like where maybe we have a little bit more time to like work with and actually make like basically like make like once like we can get like a decent amount of people, like once we get to figure out like, okay, here's what we're gonna do, we'll do like a vote maybe on social media, or like we'll do something to like make it legit somewhat.
Yeah,
Like obviously like because it's still like November or whatever, like obviously we're not going to talk about the end of the year awards this year, but like next year we'll once we get a little bit of a better lay of the land a little bit, we'll definitely do more. We'll talk more in depth about it in the future, but right now like the plan initially is going to be we'll do at the end of the year like a Slammy Award where we do like best, worst awards, like something like that. So that's primarily the plan moving forward. I might do something where I'll clip stuff and maybe do like a YouTube short or like make a video like as a highlight. But other than that, that's kind of the basis of what I'm doing. I know some people might ask, oh, also, what happened to the My GM mode series that you and Shadow used to do? Again, a lot of it just schedule right now, and it's a pain in the ass to, edit and record. It's a whole thing, and
Yeah,
it,
Shadow just doesn't. I mean, he's on a totally different schedule.
yeah.
He being in the UK, and I mean, I don't think I've even did. Has he even been on one of the streams I was with?
I don't think
Doing?
so, no.
I don't think so. I know Rome joined us one time, but
Which I'm actually gonna ask him, and then I'm gonna ask another friend of mine if he wants to like join in on these reviews or join in on the show. I want to at least get more people involved in the like in this as possible.
yeah,
Um, so like that's gonna be like so that's primarily gonna be the main source of content next year with the channel. It's gonna be more weekly stuff. And I know some people might, be wondering, oh, Austin, does that mean you're no longer gonna be talking about like superhero stuff, or you're no longer gonna be talking about like this, that, the other they used to talk about? I'll still talk about them here and there if it's like something big, like if it's something so life changing that I'm like, oh my God, like I gotta talk about this or this show. I gotta talk about the show because oh my God, I either love it or hate it. It's like, but primarily I want to focus on one thing at a time. And I figured because wrestling is gonna be a big thing next year, that's gonna be the primary source of content moving forward. Um,
yeah,
and also just to kind of help me with my schedule and like everybody else, I'm basically going to be I'll like make the streams ahead of time so that way everybody's like, okay, we know the stream's going to be on this day, blah 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 blah. I basically already have a set schedule in my mind because Raw, from what I heard, is going to go back to 3 hours when it hits Netflix. I'm not
Ooh,
I'm not staying up till like 1 in the morning, especially when I got to work. I'm not gonna do that.
yeah,
I'll basically what I'll do is like we'll probably do the Raw. Like for example, if Raw's on a Monday, we'll probably review it that Tuesday because I just realistically I have to work out around my schedule primarily because that's I can't I don't want to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning reviewing Raw, especially when I got to be up by like 6, 7 o'clock. It wouldn't make any sense.
yeah.
So, primarily it'll be like Tuesday. If we were doing an AEW Dynamite review, that'll be like on a Wednesday. Typically, we would review it like on a Thursday. And then SmackDown, we would talk about, well, no, we would review SmackDown on Saturday because we do Good Ol Wrasslin on Friday. We'll talk about the show on Saturday, and then if the WWE pay-per-views on Saturday, we'll talk about it Sunday. And then if AEW does a pay-per-view on Sunday, we'll talk about it Monday. Like it's basically whatever show happens, we'll do it the day after. Just
Sounds good.
just to make it
And but
work.
and then like if it does get to be too much of a thing, you could just toss all that stuff into Good Ol Wrasslin if you have to.
Oh,
It
sure.
just depends on if you can get enough people and you can get the times straight with everybody. But
Yeah.
it's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's primarily going to be the whole thing next year. It's just going to be a work in progress, like figuring out like kind of working out the kinks, because this is going to be like the first real year where we're really going to try this and see if we get enough traction and like if people want to like hear us talk about it like week to week. Like that's primarily how I'm going to base this off of is if nobody really wants to watch the weekly wrestling like Raw, Dynamite, SmackDown reviews, then we won't do them. But I want to just kind of gauge, see how many people how many people like it, how many people want to see it, like that type of thing. So
Yeah.
so next year is just going to be kind of like a testing ground to see if it works. Like, so that way everybody kind of has that idea of, okay, like it's a test run to see what works, what doesn't work, and then how can we fix it type of thing.
Yep.
So that's going to be the main thing next year. Um, as far as anything else goes, I really don't have much left to anything to talk about, other than I do want to do a shameless plug because I think I might be doing a Cobra Kai season 6 part 2 review tomorrow.
Ooh.
So if anybody, because the last Cobra Kai season 6 review, or the last Cobra Kai review I did, it did over 300 views, which
Nice.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
Is this the final season?
yes.
Ah, okay. So I need to go back and catch up then. I think I left off when the dude from part 3 showed up, the dude with the ponytail.
Oh yeah. Terry Silver. Yep.
Yeah, I probably need to rewatch that season because I kind of dozed off through it. But yeah, I got like what 3 seasons I need to watch now.
Yes, but technically the last season's not going to end until February, so you have a little bit of time to
Ah,
catch.
okay, cool.
Yeah, because
And then
they
plus,
divvied it up into parts this time around, which was weird.
and then you got the movie coming out with Daniel and Jackie Chan, and is that even
Yes.
related to Cobra Kai?
From what I heard, not really.
What?
Um, they- they'll probably reference stuff from Cobra Kai, but I don't think it's gonna have anything to do with like the show.
Well, that doesn't make sense at all. But I mean, you would think
I
Johnny would
mean,
show up because
you would think,
dang it,
but that's life, I guess.
yeah, that's life. Daniel always holding Johnny back.
Of
Won't let him in the
course.
movie. Stupid LaRusso.
LaRusso just does not want to put Johnny over. It's ridiculous.
Uh, ridiculous.
He's really politicking his way backstage, going, "No, you're not allowed in my movie."
He's holding him down. He needs to get his own movie.
Maybe he does.
Yeah, maybe he does. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you got a lot of plans for next year. I got a lot of plans for next year. I'm going to have to lay out a mission statement at some point myself.
All right. I can't wait for that, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of gaming stuff and random stuff and just stuff. Just stuff.
Indeed. But sometimes just stuff is just fine.
Yeah. Yep.
But with that being said, I feel like we pretty much did exactly what I think it went over pretty well. I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If anybody's watching the replay after this and they want to like kind of reply like what maybe they would like to see or you know anything like definitely do that because I want to get feedback. Like I want to know like, okay, is this a good idea? Are there things maybe I could maybe fix?
Yeah.
You know,
All suggestions are welcome.
yeah, always. Um, so with that being said, it's pretty much hit the 30-minute mark. We pretty much got everything we need to get out there. Shifty, I want to tell everybody where they can find you at real quick.
You can find me on the Twitter at ShiftyGism. It's Shifty GISM. I just mainly post a lot of stuff about toys I'm buying, and I'm going through a midlife crisis where I'm just buying action figures. So if you like action figures, give me a follow or whatever.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I occasionally
Yeah,
buy I occasionally buy wrestling figures. Got me a Big Boss Man and a Bam Bam Bigelow a couple weeks ago.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um, but yeah, you can find me here. When I do post next year, I'll be more active. But rest of the year is just going to be kind of whatever I want to talk about. Almost. I'll probably like schedule like the stuff ahead of time so that way everybody knows like okay like if there's a big like pay-per-view or a big show coming up, I'll probably have like I'll have the show already kind of like pre-scheduled. Uh, but other than that, you can find me here. You can find me on the Basco Scenarios channel, on the Hangout on Wednesdays whenever I can make it, and I'm just everywhere. So check me out when you can. And that being said, though, guys, I think that about does it. So thank you guys for watching. This is the Osinator signing out. Have fun at the Mike
Later.
Tyson and Jake Paul fight if you guys are watching.
Tyson.
Tyson, Tyson, Tyson.
That's awesome.